Morning all, how are we? Welcome to Tuesday, the 20th of January. We're back with another live day 2 of the week. Are we all good? Are we all smiling this morning, ready to face the challenges of the day? Hopefully, there are no major challenges of the day for you lovely people. I hope it's all plain sailing, nice and smooth. How was your weight loss yesterday? Your weight loss day, should I say? Weight loss is something we do over time. All right, it's not something we look at, but it's not achieved over short periods of time. It's about ticking the boxes over long periods of time. But we're going to tick those boxes, and every day that goes past is a box ticked off. So I hope you had a good day. And I always say this on, beginning of the week, try and lay a good foundation for your weight loss week. If Monday is, you have a decent Monday, right? You have a decent Monday, that should hopefully roll into a pretty decent Tuesday. And then, so on and so forth. More often than not, all right? You might be like, no, Neil, I had a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week, right? Great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week. And then Thursday, everything collapsed. I'm not saying that doesn't happen every now and then. But, anyway, there we go. YouTube, it is live. This is live. What do you want me to do, Laura? Hold a piece of, I can, if anyone wants to prove that it's live. So I've just shut my phone down. But anyone on YouTube, I can prove it's live by holding my phone up. So 20th of January. Time might come up there. This is definitely live. Absolutely 100%. Hi, would I please be added to the GLP-1 group as it's pending since last Friday? Thanks for the community. It's so ace. I certainly can do that. So Sebastian. Yes, you're in, mate. You're in. I normally check it once a week. There's not loads and loads of activity. It just depends how things ticking over. But yes, you're in, mate. Yes, we have a GLP-1 group. So I do have people on weight loss injectables on my live. I do have people on weight loss injectables on my lives on my plan. All right. So if you are on my one-to-one plan, or if you're on my one-to-one plan, if you are currently using a weight loss injectable and you want to make sure you're doing it right, you're not over restricting yourself, you're putting the things into place while using the injectables for long-term weight loss success, then come and get involved, all right, on plan, and I will adapt my plan. I'll tailor it to, there's not lots of tailoring that he's doing, really. The main difference with my plan, if you're on a GLP-1, is I'll probably do your calorie structure a little bit differently, because most people that are on a GLP-1, they experience so I normally do 5 lower days, quite even, 2 higher days. That adds flexibility, freedom. It's a normalized eating pattern. Nobody eats exactly the same amount of food, calories every single day. We've never done it. We never will do it. It just isn't natural eating patterns. Some days you'll eat a bit less. Some days you'll eat a bit more. Think about things that use energy. That's what calories is. Calories is our energy. Your car uses petrol as energy. Well, it doesn't. It uses petrol is like it converts petrol into energy. All right. So we convert fat into energy, and it's measured as calories. Right. But petrol, just for simplicity's sake, easy for you to say, petrol is an energy. Some days you'll use a £5 in your car. Some days you'll use a tenner. Some days your car won't leave the drive and you won't use any fuel, right? Exactly the same with your heating, right? If you've got a thermostat and you set your heating to 18 degrees, so when it drops below 18, your heating kicks in. Some days the air temperature will be warmer. Some days it'll be colder. The days that it's colder, you'll use more gas. Anyone's got a smart meter now, go through your smart meter for January so far. Have you used exactly the same amount of energy? Has your house took in the same amount of gas, electric every single day? Or does it do that? Bang. Right? It's logical thinking. And unfortunately, not a lot of people that coach weight loss, fat loss, think logically. Right? Think about, and you might be like, well, you shouldn't compare the way humans eat with the fuel a car uses, or the fuel is fuel, right? I am a car, I am a house, and the size of a house, right? I'm a car, I'm a house, I use fuel. Think of anything that uses fuel. Does it eat the same amount of fuel or does it use the same amount of fuel every single day? When you plug your phone in at night time, does sometimes when you plug your phone in, it's got 50% battery. Sometimes when you plug your phone in at night time, it's got 20% battery. Because the days you're on your phone more, the days your phone uses more fuel. Some days you won't be on your phone a lot, it will use less fuel. It's just normalized patterns, right? Your eating shouldn't be any different. So if you're currently trying to eat exactly the same amount of calories every day, absolute garbage, pointless, right? It is not a normalized eating pattern, because what you can end up doing on some days, well, I'm not that hungry today, or whatever, right? Or I don't feel too good, or I've just had a bit of bad news and it's killed my appetite, whatever. You're going to be trying to force food down your neck because I've got to eat 2,000 calories every day because that's what my coach has set me, right? And then other days when you're absolutely Hank Marvin, right, and you sat there crying at the end of the night into your flipping Space Raiders that are only 52 calories because you actually would rather have had a 300-calorie yogurt bowl, but you only had 60 calories left, right? It's like you need more fuel. Right. And that's the way you're. Now, I give my clients the same amount of calories Monday to Friday, but it's not set in stone. It literally says it in their plan. Right. I eat 2,600 calories a day on average. Yesterday, I ate 1,640 calories all day. Today, I'm going to eat I'm going to eat 500 more than that. I'm going to eat 2,100. And in fact, I'm going to eat 2,000. My aim now is to eat 2,100 for the next 4 days. Well, 3 days, sorry. And then I've got a takeaway on Friday night, which I was going to have Friday as a higher calorie day. I don't want to, but I'm going to have Friday as a non-banking day, right? I'm going to have Friday as a non-banking. So if I eat 2,100 today, tomorrow, and Thursday, I'll have banked 2,400 calories for the weekend, which is more than enough calories for the weekend, right? And then Friday, I'm going to have 2,600. Rumors are we're having Chinese. And I'm just basically I'm going to have 2,600 calories, my daily average on Friday. And this is why we shouldn't try and eat the same amount of calories every single day, because not every single day is the same. I never have a takeaway on a Friday night, or very, very rarely. But we're going to catch up with some friends. We've not seen them since before Christmas. And they were just like, they were like, should we go out for a meal? Should we go to the pub? And everyone's doing this at January, bit skin, don't want to go to the pub, not drinking. Let's just go for a nice Chinese. Let's just get a Chinese takeaway, or we might have something different when it gets to Friday. I don't know, but let's just have a takeaway. Sound, Chinese isn't cheap, but 25 quid's cheaper than going to a pub and eating out. 25 quid each, whatever, per couple. So but because I don't try and eat so rigidly, right? It means I can enjoy that Chinese with my friends on Friday night, right? And all within calories. Let's do top 5 on TikTok this morning. Mum Bear's in number 1, Lou's in number 2, Callum's in at number 3, Cheryl's in at number 4, and Jackie is it at number 5. You're my top 5 this morning. Thank you very much for jumping on the live, coming and saying hello. Anna, good morning. Anna's good morning. Faye, Annie, good morning. Lynn's in as well. Good morning. Paul is in. Good morning. Anyone else in? Neil, your live is lagging. Is it lagging for anyone else? Or is it just Anna? Let me know. It doesn't seem to be. I've got a very strong connection with TikTok, so it could be your signal, maybe. If it lags my side, it normally goes to an amber or red signal on TikTok. So it's definitely not my internet. My internet's flying. So not lagging here. No, it might be your signal, I just don't know where you're situated, or maybe log out and come back in or something like that. Time to float. Morning, Hannah. Good morning. Anyone else? No? Are we all good? Didn't bank any calories yesterday, but did 14,000 steps. That's all right. And do you know what? It's one of them. Like I say, I just go on about laying foundations for a good weight loss week. Every now and then, it isn't going to happen. It isn't. Every now and then we might have the best Monday for whatever reason. And just because you've not banked any calories doesn't mean it's not the best Monday. It's all about circumstance. Rachel was really struggling yesterday. Her appetite was through the roof. And she managed to stay in control just about, but she was really struggling. And she sort of said to me last night, when I'm struggling like this, am I better off like giving into it a little bit and making up the rest of the week, or should I fight it? And I said, you need to look at why you're struggling, right? What is there a genuine reason for it? And she was kind of like, and she was a bit low on Sunday. She was a bit restrictive on Sunday because she'd been out for a work do on Friday. She had a low Sunday. And I sort of said to her, I could tell she was purposely not like, we went to Tesco for breakfast and she got like scrambled egg on toast and bacon, which came in at 520 calories. And she ate half of it and left it. And I was like, why are you not eating the rest of it? We've just been to the gym. You need to get that food. Well, I'm not actually enjoying it. And I said, that's fair enough. But I said, at the end of the day, all you're going to do now this afternoon? She said, no, that'll be enough for me now till tea time. I said, no, it won't. I said, you'll end up snacking this afternoon. And the 260 calories that are there, which is eggs and bacon and wholemeal toast, which is going to help fill you up more. And she did, right? And I didn't do all I told you, and we don't do that, right? But anyway, yesterday she was just really hungry. But it's also coming up time of the month for Rachel. And I said, are you John? And she was like, yeah, probably the end of this week. I said, right, okay, so that's something else that you need to take into consideration. So, if that's the case, maybe it's better to just run with it a little bit. But let's run with it and try and try. So I made her we had tea. And she was like, I'm still flipping hungry. So I made her a 300 calorie whey whip yogurt bowl, which took 100 over her calories. But it did the trick and it ticked the boxes. So although she was 100 over her calories yesterday, it was probably worth doing that. Otherwise, if she hadn't had that yogurt bowl, snacks could have definitely run away with it, Good morning. I've not been on it for a while. Can't get my head in the game. Come on, Donna. Sometimes there's no easy answers. Let's just have a restart check-in Friday. Come on. Just get on them scales. Send it over. It doesn't matter what it is. You probably might not want to see the scales that you've got to. Right, let's break the cycle. Right, let's break the cycle. Why? It's a self-sabotage mentality. That thing, I can't get my head in the game. Self-sabotaging. Why? What's holding you back? We've got to answer that question, Donna. Otherwise, you're going to regress. And we don't want any major regression. Yeah? I'm on the Tesco Finest Blueberry Buttermilk Pancakes. 2 of those, yogurt, banana, raspberry. Sounds lovely. Morning, boss. Hope you're well, Steve. I'm very good. Thank you. I went 2,000 calories yesterday. I didn't try. Brilliant. I'm doing my weight loss coaching live this morning for my community. Is getting the best from your tracking, or how to get the best from your tracking. Basically, I'm going to tell you what you should be doing day to day. Right? If you want to get the best from your tracking, I'm going to tell you what you should be doing day to day. I'm not saying you need to do that. It's up to you. Right? I'm not your dad. Right? I'm just your coach, and I can only guide you. And whether you want to do it or not is down to you. But I'm going to tell you, where you should be. So, and what it might do for some of you guys is, if you genuinely think you're tracking really well and you're not getting the results, you might be like, I'm not doing that. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Oh God, no, I'm not doing. I've never thought of that. That's what I'm hoping it's going to trigger. Just a little bit of thought process. A little bit of thought process. Really looking forward to live. See if there's anywhere I can improve. Your tracking's good, Callum. It really, really is. You're very on it. Right. In fact, sometimes I when we first started working together, I didn't know if you were too on it, and that can be part of it. Right. We can be too obsessive. But I think last year you certainly learned to let go a little bit more, which you do need that flexibility. And that mindset to be able to let go a little bit. But there might just be and I'm basically going to talk about the way that I'm tracking at the moment, because I am on it. I feel absolutely, absolutely on it. I really, really do. And I'm not saying the way I'm tracking at the moment, is sustainable in terms of, will I keep up with what I'm doing at the moment, like all year, day in, day out? Things will probably slip a little bit, right? So, but all that will do is slightly affect accuracy in terms of I always say this, when we track calories, most of us are around 10% out, including me, right? I would say at the moment, I'm probably 3 or 4% out. That's where I'd say I'm at the moment. And then, when I'm not quite as on it, because it does happen, we go through waves, right? I'll go back to that being 10% out. Now, I don't mind being 10% out because in the grand scheme of things, if I've got, I don't know, 18,000 calories in my app, that means I've had 19,800. And you might go, whoa, that's loads. Yeah, but I put a 10% buffer in all our calories, right? There is a 10% buffer in all our calories. So I put a buffer in. And this is when I know when clients are on it, right? Because they lose more than £1 a week. Right? They lose more than £1 a week. Now, like I say, I'm always very skeptical about saying that I put a 10% buffer in, right? But what that 10% buffer does is as well, when people go, I'm absolutely bang on with my calories on, and I'm like, well, you're not, because I not only do I give you your calories, I give you a 10% buffer as well, and you're still not losing weight. So you are overeating your calories. Like, it's not just that, you are overeating, yeah? Caroline O'Toole, good morning. Good morning. Kirsty A, good morning as well. You got any spaces? I certainly have. There's space to start on Monday if you want. I've only got one person signed up starting on Monday. My half price offer is still on with an extra 3 months of coaching as well. So you can get 3 months of coaching. You get 4 months of coaching for the price of 3 and half price sign up, which is just 15 quid until the end of January. That ends a week on Saturday. So a week on Saturday, it goes back to full price. $29.99 sign up, $29.99 a month. That's it. Flat rate. It's still very good value. But if you sign up now, it'll be 15 quid to sign up instead of 30 quid. And it'll be $29.99 for 3 months. And then your 4th month, you will not get charged. So you'll pay $29.99 end of Jan, end of Feb, end of March. And then end of April, you won't pay. And you will be covered if you sign up now till the end of May. Right? You will get you started a week today, which is the 26th. Not a week today, a week on Monday, week yesterday. So get started on Monday, which is the 26th of January. And you'll be covered till the end of May, right? For basically 105 quid. But that's spread out, right? So if you want to sign up, you want to get on board, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, just find my link tree. If you're looking at this, you've got my website there. So that's where my link tree takes you to, thereallossboss.net. Click on weight loss, click on monthly one-to-one plan. Use code New Year, New Me, all in capitals at checkout, and I'll do the rest. Right? I'll do the rest for you. Not in terms of weight loss. You need to put some effort in, but I'll set everything up for you. Yeah. Have you tried the whey pancake mix? Wondering if it's worth it. Where from, Mum and Dad? I've tried protein pancake mix in the past. Is there a new one out? Watching this and then going for a run, end of week 3, C2 5K. And C2 5K. I was like, 25K counts to 5K. Brilliant. And I love it. Thanks, Deal. Off walking. Brilliant, Lynn. Go get those steps in. A good day with steps yesterday. Nearly 13,000. Weather's been kind to us at the moment. It was a bit rainy last night, but I was in bed, so it didn't matter. But yeah, it's the weather's fairly dry at the moment. It's fairly calm. I think it's meant to be a bit windy today, so we'll see where that takes us. Mine 18K. Wow, Lynn's on it. Lynn is on it. I'll have to watch that back. I hate tracking. I don't know why. My new check is full of meals and it takes seconds, but I'm still crap at it. I think one of the reasons why we don't want to consistently track is, don't get me wrong. Look, I'm not saying tracking calories is the same for like every single person in the world should just track calories, right? For some people, if it just isn't the tool that you're going to use, it isn't the tool you're going to use. I didn't track a single calorie for the first 2 years of my weight loss journey. What? When I say track, I didn't use an app. I didn't fill an app in. I did use a calorie structure. So when I say I did use a calorie structure, I did count calories, but I counted them like just in meals. So, and I still stick to that calorie structure now. So basically, rather than tracking calories, and it was a bit too regimented, if I'm being honest with you. And when I started using an app to track calories, that allowed me a lot more freedom. It allowed me to fall more into what I do now, or the way I look at food now and calories now. But before, I still had treat nights and stuff. But I basically, I used to just have 400 to 500 calories for my breakfast, right? So I wouldn't go into an app. I wouldn't write it down. I'd just make my breakfast and go, right, you know, I'd understand, you know, eggs are 70 calories each, right? So 4 eggs is 280 calories. 2 slices or a slice of oatmeal toast with a bit of butter on it is 100 calories. So that's 380. And then 2 rashers of bacon's 120. That's 500 calories. That'll do. And I made my breakfast and ate it. So that's 500 calories. And then lunch, 500 to 600 calories. And this, that, and the other. And that was it, really. And then I used to have, so I used to have about 2,500 a day, something like that. So if I was like, well, maybe between 2 and 2,500. So I'd have like, let's say I had 500 for my breakfast, 600 for my lunch, 800 for my tea. That's top end. That's 1,900 calories. And I then have 300 calories mid-afternoon and 300 calories at night, right, which is 2,500. Sometimes my breakfast wouldn't be 500, it'd be 450. Sometimes my tea would be 750. So those days I'd have 2,400, right? But I just used to stick to that sort of calorie structure. And then, yeah, 300. My 300 calorie snacks used to be like I'd have a protein bar, or I'd have a protein shake. I might have a bit of fruit. It wasn't. I wasn't eating. You know, I wasn't allowing myself like the odd bag of crisps like each night, but I had my crisps on my treat night, which was Wednesday night and Sunday night. And in all honesty, it wasn't a bad way of doing it. It wasn't a bad way of doing it. But like anything, you can evolve it, you can make it better. And the way I do it now is absolutely bang on. Like, I absolutely love it. Higher days, lower days, but having the flexibility in my mindset that, you know, if Thursday ends up being a higher day, it just means Sunday might be a lower day. You know, also some weeks are busier than others. Some weeks don't quite go to plan. So, you know, calling my deficit my ideal deficit, much more, you know, rather than having to stick to this rigid number week in, week out. If we go a little bit under it, it's all good. If we go a little bit over it, it's all good. Do you know what I mean? And it's just about having a healthy relationship with tracking calories. I think a lot of people don't want to track calories because they don't want to face what they are doing. Right. So a lot of people like to mask what they are doing. That's the case for people that are struggling. Right. So a lot of people that are struggling to control their calories won't track because they don't want to see that they're not doing what they should be doing. A lot of people don't like the control aspect. It's a bit of a rebellious nature from quite a few from people. Right. So it is that, you know, it is that sort of, yeah, it's no one's controlling me kind of mentality, right? No one's controlling my diet, no one's controlling my finances. I'll do what I want because I'm a rebel with a cause, you know. So it can be part of that. It can just be laziness. It really, really can. It can just be laziness. There's lots of different factors behind it, but the honest truth is, it is one of the best control tools for weight loss. It literally answers every single question if you're doing it right. If you're doing it right. And that's what the live's going to be about 10:30 this morning. I'm going to say, like, you know, ideally, more often than not, you want to be doing what I'm going to be telling you to do, you know? And I have noticed I've got quite a lot of clients on GLP-1s, and I have noticed that you know, there is a common trend, and that's just because of people on GLP-1s and being a bit more slack with their tracking, and that's because calorie tracking is a tool, but now this other tools come into play. They feel that they don't need the first tool, right? The primary tool. And you know, and I've had that's been quite a common trend where just in check-ins in general, be like, I've not been 100% on me, you know, they've lost weight because they've got this other tool in place. And, you know, a lot of clients are very honest with me, like, I've not been 100% with my tracking, it's something I need to work on a little bit. And it's just a little bit of a common trend, you know. Do you think a vibration plate works? What? Absolutely not, for nothing. No, we used to have one in the gym, and there used to be this lady, bless her. She was an older lady, and she literally, like, and no one had the heart to tell her it was just the most pointless thing. But we used to have this vibrate power plate, and it was honestly, it was, yeah. She's just stand at it for half an hour, just like that, and just like. And I don't get wrong, she wasn't overweight, but she didn't do anything else in the gym. She just walked in and stood on it. And I don't know what she thought it was doing. The only thing a vibration plate can actually help with is it can improve circulation a little bit. It can improve circulation because it can stimulate muscles. So it can get muscles moving a little bit, which can improve circulation. That's right. It maybe, and if I got over to her and said, that does absolutely nothing, she goes, yes, Neil, it improves circulation, and I've got quite poor circulation because of my age. So, and I'd have gone like, oh. Marjorie, crack on, love, you're doing great. So that's, I never said anything, but Regan's in, good morning. I've been doing calorie counting, lost 15 pounds in 5 weeks with Jim as well. Brilliant, Melanie. I'm going to say Melanie. That's not how you spell Melanie. Maloney. Is it Maloney? I'm just, or is it Melanie? Just spelled in a bit of a different way. Anyway, that's what we're going. Just remember, Melanie, or Melanie, I'm not trying to piss on anyone's chips here. I generally don't do that. You've lost 15 pounds in 5 weeks. That will slow down. All right. I've lost 12.2 pounds in 11 days since Christmas. And yes, I've been tracking calories, but that's because we gain a lot of food weight, water weight, and water retention from Christmas. And part of the post-Christmas weight gain. Now, I know you've said over 5 weeks. Thank you very much for the gift. Very kind of you. I know you said over 5 weeks. So you've obviously started before Christmas. Or maybe just after Christmas. No, we're not 5 weeks from Christmas, are we? So maybe just before Christmas. But still, a lot of that is what we call a whoosh. All right. So all I'm saying is, if things slow down, like over the next 5 weeks, if you only lose 5 or 6 pounds, right, don't be disheartened. That's now because you're just losing fat loss instead of all the other bits and pieces that come along with it. It's because I started Mounjaro. No, Melanie, it is because you are in a calorie deficit. Mounjaro is helping you control your appetite, but never ever think that a weight loss medication causes fat loss or weight loss. It doesn't, right? The only thing that causes fat loss, consistent fat loss, is a reduction in calories. That is it. And we have lots of tools that we can put into place to help us control our calorie intake so we go into a calorie deficit. I'm only saying that because so many people think so many things. So many people think excuse me. So many people think so many things just because they think things cause fat loss. That's all I'm doubling down on it. Just spelled differently. My mate's called Jonathan, and we call him Johnny. But I think his name's Jonathan, but with all O's or something, because his dad went to register his birth after the head wetting, after a night on the smash, and his mum went mental. Apparently, this is a story. And basically, his dad just traditional head wetting, went on the smash, and went, all night, and just thought it would be a good idea to go to the registry office. He had all the bits and pieces and registered and just spelled his name totally wrong on the birth certificate because he was hammered, right? But, do you know what I mean? And I was like, that's absolutely brilliant. His name's spelled like Jonothon, John O'Thon or something like that. I was like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, right, let me scan down, see if I missed anything. My tracking has been shite throughout. At least I'm consistent at something, though. Yeah, but you're definitely consistent at that, Paul, 100%. And I know it's just a constant work in progress. And I still believe with some people, even if they've been, working with me 18 months and things still aren't in place, I do believe at some point in time that switch will turn on. I do. I think it's one of them. But like I say, are there people out there that have had successful weight loss journeys without and are still made it without tracking calories? Yeah. Yeah, it can just be a case of, I just eat 3 times a day and I don't overfill my plate. You're shooting in the dark. I think that's the thing I love about tracking calories. You're never shooting in the dark. There's no guesswork involved. As long as you're working with someone or your calorie allowance is from a professional. Like if your calorie allowance is from a free online calorie calculator, it's from one of these, Muppets doing free calorie calculations online, on lives because they're just trying to buy audiences. That's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to buy viewers. It's like if I'll give you a free calorie, and they just do it. It's just awful. I've watched a couple of them, and I'm just like, height, weight thingy. Yeah, I have 60. I was like, their calories are 1,600 calories a day just off that basic information. As if, and then I've actually done a couple, again, thanks for the gift, mate. I've actually done a couple where I've been on and online, and they're just using TDEE. They're doing nothing else. They're just doing nothing else, right? They're not using anything different than you just doing it yourself. So make sure your calories are right. Yeah. And if your calories are right and your tracking's decent, it answers you won't need to answer any questions because you'll consistently lose. Yeah. You'll consistently lose, I've joined back up. Brilliant, Stevie. I have just seen that. If you want to call a coin, if you want to come on board with Stevie and Nikki on Monday, starting on my one-to-one plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, right? The first tab in my link tree is an inquiry form. So if you just want to touch base with me, hi Neil, just like a bit more information about your one-to-one plan, I can send you an email with all the bits and pieces so you can have a little look through. All the details are on my website as well. You can ask me any questions, but it is very simple and straightforward. But at the end of the day, I've got a really good offer on at the moment. It's 15 quid to sign up, which Stevie's just took advantage of. And it's $29.99 a month for 3 months, and then you get your 4th month free. All right, so come get involved. Yeah. What was it? I look back and I started with you in 2022. I've had such a boomerang journey. Kirsty A, you are the definition of roller coaster of weight loss, right? Which is lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. But one thing you've never done, Kirsty, is yes, you've gone missing in action for various reasons throughout our time working together, but you've always come back. And every time you come back, you're a little bit better. And that's what's important. Every time you come back, whether it's mindset, whether it's consistency, whether it's, whether it's attitude, it doesn't matter. I mean, I know all that's covered under mindset sort of thing. You're always a little bit better. And because of that, that's why I'm fully confident you're going to have long-term success on this journey. We just need to, like I say, I've just sent someone an invitation. Please ignore it. Otherwise, I'll have to end the live and then come back in. No idea if someone comes on a live, I can just kick them off. No idea how to do that. So there you go. I need to smash it again, James. You will, mate. You will. Just got to get your head in the game. All right. And again, James, you again, like a lot of people, you sort of do really, really well for a period of time. And then you seem to just drift a little bit. And we just need to cut that drifting out. That's it, Were you and Rachel both overweight when you got together? Yes. Yes, we were. We're both still overweight now. We wouldn't, neither of us would deny that. But like I say, I'm happy with my weight, but I could be lighter. I know I could. I've not got the, until I get my body fat percentage under 20%. That's when I'll be truly happy, really. It's not actually my weight at the moment that I'm with. But yeah, we were. I was probably about 28 stone, 27 stone, something like that when I got with Rachel. I was about just over 12 months. About 12 months into my weight loss journey. I have no idea what Rachel weighed when we got together. And then we've both been on a bit of a roller coaster a little bit, but Rachel really so coming up 2 years, if I'm being honest with you, has been absolutely smashing it. Smashed it more than me in a way. But we've both been doing pretty decent. In fact, she's buzzing. I think she bought something the other day that was a size 14. She's never been a size 14 while we've been together. And I think she said it was a little bit snug, but it wasn't a million miles away. That's her goal for her birthday's mid-April. And she wants to be a size 14. Nearly 2 years ago, she was a 2022. She was a 2022, sometimes a 24 in certain things. So she's a lot of 16 stuff at the moment. It's a bit big for her. She said she's a size. A friend at work said you're a size 50. A friend at work says she's a size 15, I think. So she's like hovering in between. So her mission is to be a 14, and I think she's done. Then I think she's done. I don't like. You know, I don't mean she's done. I think she'll still try and push for a little bit more, but you know, I think she'll be a good weight then. She really, really will. Hi, after a fabulous 5 weeks in Benidorm, gained 2.5 pounds after a week. It's gone perfect, and that's what happens. And I'm glad you've had a brilliant 5 weeks in Benidorm. Because of autism, tracking on GLP-1 has been great because I'm hyper focused. Yeah, absolutely. There's certain things, strengths that we need to. And again, that can be, you know, I think, you know, in some way, shape, or form, you know, anyone that can stay consistent with things, it is down to maybe being a little bit. I think we're all a little bit on the spectrum somewhere, but you know, certain things, ADHD, you can go absolutely one way or the other, whereas certain people with ADHD can be hyper focused. Certain people with autism, like say, hyper focused. I've definitely on the range somewhere with that because I can be absolutely certain things I can be all over the place with, but certain things that just fit into my mind, bang, I'm just on it. And calories has been one of them. You know, I mean this. I'm not saying it as a big headed. Like I don't reckon there's many people overweight. You know, I've tracked calories day in, day out since the end of February 2016, day in, day out, unless it's been a holiday or Christmas or a planned weight loss break. I've tracked calories day in, day out for 10 years. 10 years, right? And, you know, I went to it last year. This doesn't include Christmas. So I signed off for Christmas. I mean, you could include Christmas. So for what was left of the year, I didn't track 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So 8 days. But up until Christmas, I had 42 days off tracking last year. And that was due to holidays, right? So I had 42, I'm lying there, 41 days off from holidays. And then Rach went to Northern Ireland with some friends, and we just decided to take Monday off from tracking, which we very rarely do. So if I include Christmas, I had 50 days off from tracking. So if you do 50 divided by 365 times 100, that is 13.6 minus 100. So that means I tracked calories last year for 86.3%. 86.3% of 2025. Track calories and I was in a calorie deficit, and that's why I was 3 stone down, and that's why I'm still 3 stone down now, because although I gained 13.2 pounds from Christmas, it's all gone within 11 days, well, apart from 1 pound, and I've not been on the scales, but if I got on the scales tomorrow, that 1 pound would have gone. All right, consistency will always be key. Yeah. I was a size 20, 22. I'm now 14. Thanks, June. Brilliant, Maureen. I was a size 18 and now 12. Thank Ace. Absolutely brilliant. You know, since Mum passed away, I need to find my hobbies again and get back in the game. Yeah, absolutely, Stevie. Obviously, you know, you've been through quite a lot of trauma, a lot of grief, and hopefully that grief it'll never like fully subside, obviously, but hopefully it's getting easier. And we have to realize that was like me with my dad. You know, my dad passed away, and I just went on a massive bender for 6 months. And eventually, you know, you've got to have a wake-up call and start looking after, you know, yourself. Hi, Neil. I was on last night asking about healthy BMI. When's a good time to say enough? Look, the BMI scale is an archaic, like, way of looking at health. Now, don't get me wrong. In certain circumstances, it is still quite beneficial, right? But what the BMI scale doesn't do is it doesn't take into account what's changed over the years, average height, average weight. It doesn't take into account muscle mass. It has started adding in movement now if you go onto the NHS and calculate it, but I don't think it does it very well. And what we need to look at in terms of, a lot of people think a healthy weight means you're healthy, and it doesn't work like that. A healthy weight is being a weight where your current weight won't put a strain on your body. So, if you're currently 25 stone, that is putting a strain on your joints. Your mass is putting a strain on your heart. It's going to be putting a strain on things like blood pressure and stuff like that. And then obviously we have to look at, if you are 25 stone, yes, I'm going to stereotype here, but most people that are 25 stone they're living a lifestyle. And our health is more around lifestyle, right, than it is more around, like, the way we live our lives than our actual weight. So the BMI scale could say, so let's say someone's 5'6", right, for instance, female 5'6". If they are 14 stone, they themselves might want to lose some weight for aesthetics. But if you're 5'6" and 14 stone, that weight is never going to put an adverse pressure on your body. It's not going to affect your joints. It's not going to affect, as long as you move, and there's so many different parameters to this, really, But if you were 14 stone, 5'6", and you did a reasonable amount of steps and did a couple of resistance training sessions a week, that weight's never going to put a pressure on your joints. That weight is never going to put a pressure on your heart. It's not going to increase your blood pressure, right? But does that mean, all right, well, I'm healthy then? No, because if you then consume a diet that's very unhealthy, right, over time, then that will put a pressure on your body. So our lifestyle can put a pressure on our body, and our weight can put a pressure on our body. I know loads of people that are a healthy weight, according to the BMI scale, but the way they live their lifestyle, they're very unhealthy. I know a lot of people, according to the BMI scale, that are overweight, even bordering obese, but the way they live their lifestyle, they are, I had my bloods done 4 months ago, and all my health markers, blood pressure, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, resting heart rate, HbA1c, absolutely top tier. Whereas the BMI scale says I'm bordering obese, right? Overweight, obese. Now you might be like, well, does that mean that your weight, your current weight, won't put pressure on your body? It will put pressure on my joints, but because of the way I train and I lift weights and stuff like that, my body's strong, so it can handle the weight that I'm at. Right? Don't get me wrong, my joints are knackered anyway, my lower joints, but do you know what I mean? So it's one of them, really. When's a good time to say enough? So when's a good time to go, I'm happy with the weight I'm at? Again, there's lots of different things that I look at with my one-to-one clients. So my one-to-one clients, what do I look at for like end weight? I look at that, like, let's get to a weight where there's no pressure on the body, right? I also then look at lifestyle of client. So, for example, if I've got a client that is currently very active at work, and so on and so forth. So getting a lot of movement into their lifestyle just becomes natural because of work. So I've coached in the past people that work on A&E wards, people that posties, things like that. They just naturally do ridiculous amounts of movement. I'm like, right, you could probably maintain a slightly lighter weight than someone that does a sedentary day job, because it's more of an effort for them to increase their movement. Sedentary day job is just a really poor excuse not to have a decent level of movement. It is. I have a sedentary day job. I sit here loads, right? But I have a decent level of movement, right? It's all about one. It is. Like I'm not asking anyone to go and run marathons every day, but most people with a sedentary day job, if they want to do it, can do 10,000 steps a day. They genuinely can. Right. I also look at, when it comes to goal weight, I also look at where the person's come from. So, like for me, for example, I used to be 37 stone, which means I've got massive eating issues. I can only control that so much. Part of my massive eating issues is, yes, emotional eating, which I'm on top of. Food addiction, yes, I'm on top of that as well. But I also have very poor leptin hormone receptors. So leptin is the hormone that tells us we are satisfied. It tells us we've had enough. So it's what tells us we're full when we're eating. Mine don't work very well, which means I can, because of that, I can, I'm only going to be able to control my appetite so much. I'm only going to be able to take my calories so far under control. So yeah, you might have, I'm nearly 6'5", and you might have a professional footballer that's nearly 6'5", and they might weigh 13 stone. Well, A, it's their profession to be very fit and healthy, and B, their leptin hormone might work brilliantly. I've got friends whose leptin hormone works too good. People that literally, you'll go out for tea and they'll be halfway through the main, and then they'll just put the knife and fork down and go, yeah, I've had enough. What? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with them is their leptin hormones firing on all cylinders. So they've got that off switch. Right? I don't have an off switch. So there's lots of different factors that we need to take into account when we are looking at our goal weight. So you can diet down to any weight you want. I could diet down to be 13 stone and I'd be an absolute beanpole. But me at 13 stone, to maintain 13 stone, I'm probably going to have to eat 2,300 calories a day-ish, right? And my appetite's not going to change from being the weight I'm at now to being 13. And I'm at my absolute limit for calorie control now, 2,600 a day. I can't push it anymore. I couldn't push it anymore. And eventually at 2,600 a day, my calorie that I eat now will become a maintenance. I move a hell of a lot now. Am I going to move as much in 20 years' time as I do now? No, we get older, the body tires, it gets, I just can't see it. So you've got to there's so much you need to take into account, I just don't know if I should leave that last £5 and just maintain. Oh, God, was it £5 or 5 kilos? I can't remember. Were you not the lady that was like 9.5 stone? I'm like, yeah. If I've got any client that's 9.5 stone, like, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. If you don't like how you look in the mirror at 9.5 stone, go to a gym, start lifting weights, start training, and change your body composition. Right? Stop trying to change body. We should never really try and change our state. All right, you're 5'3", 10'3", and work out 5 times a week. So feel pretty healthy. Fine. Absolutely, you're 143 pounds at 5'3", right? And you train 5 days a week. You're absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Irrelevant of what the BMI scale says, you are spot on, right? You genuinely are, My BMI used to be 65.3. It's now 46.6. Brilliant, Kirsty. Expects me to weigh 7.5 stone. Don't think I even weighed that at birth. Yeah, absolutely. And they're just crazy, BMI scales at times. They really are. It's such a massive swing, Such a massive swing. It really is. Paul's a size 18 or size 24 now, 12. Brilliant, Cheers, Neil. That's super helpful. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Anyway, there we go. Right, guys, I'm going shortly, 5 minutes or so. Have I missed anything on I've not been looking at YouTube. No, we're all good. So what are my plans today? Not a lot, really. Bit of an admin day. I'm in the house all day, really, till I go and do my spin. The way I've done my weights, I trained on Sunday, so normally I go to the gym and I'll do half an hour of weights and then go and teach my spin class. But I'm just doing my spin class today, no weights. So that's at 5. So today I'm going to go and smash a yogurt bowling now. Can't flipping wait. Absolutely Hank Marvin for that. I am hungrier today because I had a very low calorie day yesterday and I'm sat here now and I'm hungry. Is it physical hunger? It's physical hunger this morning. I know that. So I'm going to go smash a big yogurt bowl in. 450 calories, 130 grams of frozen strawberries, 130 grams of frozen blueberries, 150 grams of Greek yogurt, 30 grams of protein powder, 25 grams of granola, and a drizzle of honey on top. That is getting demolished in about 15 minutes time. And then I might try, no, I'm not. I'm going to do some posts for social media. Then I've got Weight Loss Coaching Live, 10:30 till 11:30. Then when I've done that, because I've sat down here for an hour, I'm going to do dog walking. All right, so we're going to get the doggies out first walk of the day. When I get back from that, I've got some content to film, and then I've got a couple of hours of admin to do. Then I'm going to probably get the doggies out again. So we'll get them out for their second W of the day. Then I'm going to come back, and then I might have a little chill for 45 minutes, a little from 4 o'clock. Then I'm going to set off to the gym at 4:45, get to the gym for 5, teach my spin class. Then I'm going to come home. Oh, I need to have dinner. What am I having for dinner today? Oh, I'm having I made that creamy peri-peri chicken. I'm having it with coconut rice today. I don't know if it'll work, but I just wanted to meal prep. So I basically found a packet of coconut rice. I put 2/3 of it in my box. Put me creamy peri-peri chicken on top. So that's lunch today. So that's all done. I just need to do some veggies on the side, which is going to be green beans. I think I'm going to go for green beans today. So busy afternoon, and then teaching me spin class, and then I'm going to come home. We're going to have tea. Third dog walk of the day. We'll take the dogs out again probably for 15 minutes or so, and then have a shower. I'm going to put my feet up, play my Switch for an hour, and then go to bed. There you are. That's my Tuesday done and dusted. Now, I've already tracked my calories. My calories are, I say I've already tracked my calories. I'm probably, is my iPad working? No, it needs charging. Let me have a quick look at my NutriCheck on the computer. Have I tracked my calories today? Breakfast is in. Yes. Lunch is in. Yes. Tea is in, which is at the moment just a bacon and egg butter. We always have a really simple tea on the Tuesday night because I don't get home from the gym till about 6:30. Rachel's about 6:45. So we're having bacon butty and some like little hash brown bites. It's quite a common tea on a Tuesday night. Love it. So I've got that in. So I'm at 1,657 calories. So I've still got 500 calories. I have got a protein shake in the fridge. I'm gonna have that as my mid-afternoon snack. I'm gonna start introducing, as I've said before, a couple of 300 calorie protein shakes a day into my diet, probably from February. So I'm kind of getting it back into the habit. I used to have protein shakes all the time. Now I just have whey protein in yogurt normally or in porridge, and I have the odd protein shake here or there. I'm introducing them back into my diet. So we'll have that afternoon snack, and then that leaves me with about 250 calories for some evening snacks. There you go. Did you try the overnight oats from Aldi? Yeah, they were awful. They weren't good. They weren't. I say they were awful. They weren't. Loads of people were like, they're disgusting, blah, blah, blah. They weren't that bad. They needed, for me, a little bit more sweetness. So a little drizzle of honey on them would have took them up a notch, or mixed in a teaspoon of stevia or something like that would have took them up a notch, just to sweeten them up a little bit. My main issue with them was they were tiny for the calories. You couldn't read the ingredients. It was so small. I assume they're using like a full-fat yogurt or a full-fat milk in there. Oats are quite calorific anyway. But yeah, they weren't the best. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They weren't the best. And I was thinking, they might be quite nice. I know they were quite high in calories, but I was like, well, if they taste good, and maybe you could chop a bit of banana in just to bulk up the volume. But yeah, they weren't the best. Yeah, do you eat your fruit frozen? No, I always put frozen fruit. I do see people that make yogurt bowls online and they just whack a load of frozen fruit in. And I'm like, maybe in summer it might be all right. No, I just pick it in the microwave for a minute and a half to defrost it a bit. I might leave it like semi-frozen. But like this morning, I was up at 7. So I just went in the kitchen and I just put my strawberries and blueberries in a bowl from 7. So they've been set out for 2.5 hours. So by the time I go to the kitchen now, they'll be fully defrosted or not a million miles off, You should make your own higher protein and less calorie version of the overnight oats. I have done. There's loads of. If you go onto my YouTube channel, I think I've got 3 or 4 different overnight oat recipes. They're not a lower calorie. You can't make a less calorie version of overnight oats. Oats are calorific because they're full of healthy fats. All right. So you're going to really struggle If you want a decent sized portion, you are going to struggle to make anything with oats in that is low calorie. But there's like Milky Bar overnight oats, Biscoff overnight. I'll tell you what I've got on my YouTube channel. There's 3 or 4 different overnight oat recipes, I think. Something I used to have quite a lot. I like them, very handy if you go to work. Or if you work away, if you work, I mean, they're just very handy if you just like grabbing stuff out of the fridge. But, if you work in an office or something like that, let me have a look and see what overnight oats there are. I don't know if these are in order. They are in order. They're all in my weight loss. Do you know what I'm going to start doing with my recipes? I'm going to split them into playlists like breakfast. I have them all in one. So and there's so many recipes in there now. Let me have a look and see what overnight oats there are. Raspberry and white choc, protein overnight oats, episode 13. Oreo and blueberry overnight oats, episode 15. Are there any more? I'm positive I've done a Milky Bar one. I've definitely posted that on social media. I might not have made the recipe. I can make the recipe if you want. And put it on. I've done like a Milky Bar overnight oats using white choc protein powder, a couple of Milky Bar buttons in there. Really tasty. Really, really tasty. Any more? Are those the only 2 overnight? I've done banana and blueberry protein oat bars. Right, that's a recipe on my YouTube as well. That's it. So there's 2 overnight oat recipes. But if you scan through, what I was going to say, if you scan through my Instagram, you'll have to scan a long way because I post a lot. But I can do a couple of new ones. I might do one tomorrow. I might film an overnight. I'll see what I've got in the cupboards and see if I can come up with an overnight oat recipe today for you. Film another one and put it on tomorrow. I prefer overnight Weetabix than overnight oats. Yeah, I think there's a recipe. There's a lemon cheesecake like Weetabix in one of my e-cookbooks. I think. Anyway, on my second lap of the business park and my office is on, we'll get about 8K before I go in. Brilliant phase on it, getting them steps in. Lovely jubbly. Right, I'm going to go make me breakfast. Been talking about breakfast now for a bit. I'm going to go get stuck in because I am starving. I am hungry. Right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. You guys on Planning the Community. If you're not planning the community, come get signed up. I'm going to tell you exactly what I expect from you tracking calories. That's kind of what we're going for. It's what I expect from myself, and it's what you guys should be doing to get the most out of tracking your calories. And I'm not saying you're going to be like this day in, day out. I'm not saying you're like this month in, month out. But if you like this more often than not, you're going to get some great results on the scales. Anyway, that's at 10:30 this morning. In an hour. If you can't make the live at 10:30, it is posted back to YouTube, but only in a private playlist if you are part of my community or one-to-one plan. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Come get signed up just like Stevie has. Use code New Year, New Me at checkout. 15 quid. And you get instant access to the community. So you're straight in there today, and then we'll get you on board properly on plan on Monday. Right, have a great day. I'll be back social media tomorrow, but there's change to the schedule. It is going to be about 9:30 instead of 8:30, right? And it's going to be in the car just on TikTok. So I'm taking Rachel to work because I need the car tomorrow. So, and I've got a few bits and pieces to do. I'm going to aim to get to the gym for about 9:30, park up, do a live, and then go and train. So be about 9:30 tomorrow, just on TikTok. So not Facebook, YouTube. I'll be Thursday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning. There's only 2 more Friday morning lives. I'm scrapping them. And I'll tell you why. It's my really busy day Friday doing check-ins. But I'm doing Thursday night lives at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep another live in at night during the week instead of doing Friday morning. So that could be Tuesday night or Thursday night. It'll all be in the newsletter each week when I decide what I'm doing. So I think if I'm doing like my weight loss coaching live, well, I think I'm going to keep the weight loss coaching lives to the morning. It seems to be when I get the best interaction. If I'm doing later in the afternoon, not many people seem to log on. So in the morning, so I might keep the Thursday night live, or I might do a Monday, Tuesday night live, and then I'll just see how it how it pans out. Right, so still the same amount of lives, just slightly different days from February. Anyway, for now, I'll see you guys in an hour if you're on Planner in the Community. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning, but just on TikTok. So if you only follow me on Facebook, YouTube, come follow me on TikTok, and I'll be on tomorrow morning about 9:30. Have a great day. TikTok, sign off to you first, and then Facebook, YouTube, sign off to you second. I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning. TikTok.